guys, my name is Aubrey and this is my channel, and today we're going to be talking about how to make money. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down the top 10 side hustles that you can pursue this summer. These are unique side hustles that will do particularly well in the summertime. So if you're somebody who is at home, if you find yourself with some extra time on your hands, this video is for you because with some of these, you could potentially make up to $25 to $50 per hour. So let's get started. Now today is Top 10 Tuesday, and if you guys don't know what Top 10 Tuesday is, let me explain. Top 10 Tuesday is the day of the week in which I break down my top 10 choices of various money-making, investing, and just personal finance tips, hacks, and methods. And like I said in the intro to this video, this week I want to break down my top 10 summer side hustles. Now you guys may be asking yourself, well, what is the difference between a summer side hustle and a normal side hustle? There's no such thing as a summer side hustle, but you would actually be wrong. There is actually a lot of different opportunities that present themselves in the summer versus in the spring, fall, or winter. And I want to talk about these opportunities that I believe will do particularly well in the summer months. Now, I'm going to be ordering this list from 10 to 1 being my favorite, 10 being my least favorite. I'm also ordering this based off of income potential as well, number 10 being the one with the least amount of income potential, and number 1 being with the most. Now, with that, let's dig in to number 10 on this list, which is driving for Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, Postmates, Uber Eats, and things like that. Now, delivery services and drive sharing platforms is a side hustle that I've talked about a lot on this channel, and it's one that I think is a tried and true method to make money on the side. The fact is, these platforms work. There are millions of people across the world that have proven that this is the case. But I do think that summer, specifically summer of 2021, is a time in which this side hustle will reign supreme. Number 1 is the fact that a lot of places are very, very short on staff. That means platforms like Uber Eats, DoorDash, Postmates could really take advantage of and utilize drivers that are driving for their organizations. Because of that, I think that you will be overutilized as a DoorDash or delivery driver through these drive sharing services. Number 2 is the fact that with the United States and with the world opening back up, people will be traveling once again, and as a result, the need for Ubers and Lyfts will become more and more in demand, at least in comparison to 2020. Not only that, but rental cars are at an extremely all-time high demand at this point, and there are millions of people that are going on vacation that want a rental car and can't find one. And as a result, these people may have to just simply default to services like Uber and Lyft. That means that if you were an Uber and Lyft driver, you may have more opportunities than you ever have in the past. Now, of course, the income potential with this side hustle is dictated by when you drive, where you drive, and how often you drive. But it isn't unheard of for Uber and Lyft drivers to make $30 to $40 per hour, sometimes more if you're driving in very high demand times of day. Next is number 9, which is something that is not for the faint of heart, but it is legitimate and it is a real way to make money, and that is clinical trials. And what a clinical trial is just like a clinical study to see how something affects a person and what the side effects of that thing are. For example, if there was a vaccine for COVID-19, you would test that vaccine with clinical trials in order to decide what the effects of that vaccine would be. And this not only takes place in the context of COVID-19, the pandemic, but also takes place with any medication, any surgical procedure, really anything in the medical industry. And the way that they oftentimes get these people to volunteer for clinical trials is to pay them. Now, according to my research that I did for this video, people that take part in clinical trials can get paid anywhere from $50 to $300 per day, depending on the intensity of the trial, the length of the trial, and what is required of them for the trial. But the way that you can do this is you can actually simply just Google clinical trials in blank city, blank state. For example, I live in Dallas, so I could Google clinical trials in Dallas, Texas. It will then bring you to a number of different resources and a number of different companies that are offering clinical trials out there. And that can allow for you to connect with these companies and see if you qualify for these clinical trials. Next is number 8 on this list, and this is a tried and true method to make money. In fact, it is what I did for money whenever I was in high school and college, and it is one that is excellent, especially for those of you that do not have a job during the summertime, whether it be because you're a teacher, whether it be because you're a student, whether it be because you're in between jobs, or even if you're somebody that's simply a stay-at-home mom. And that is a nanny. The summertime oftentimes bring some unique challenges to parents because of the fact that it's a time of year in which kids are not in school, but parents are still at work. And as a result, there are many parents out there that are stuck with the question of, what am I supposed to do with my kids? That's where you can come in. There are a lot of services online that connect parents with people that are willing to watch their kids. Care.com is a really great one. During the summertime, a lot of parents and a lot of families are looking for nannies to watch their kids during the day. And I know that there are a lot of you who may be watching this video and may think that nannies are something that are extraordinarily expensive, and because of that, this is a very niche side hustle that is hard to get into. But that actually couldn't be further from the truth. The fact is, daycare is super expensive, and a lot of times, especially in the summer, hiring a nanny for multiple kids could end up being a very comparable cost than sending your kid to daycare all day. And for a lot of parents, they would rather have the customized one-on-one care of a nanny rather than sending them to a generic daycare. I really think that nannying is an excellent side hustle. It's one that is especially great for people who are college students or high school students. And I think that as far as summer jobs goes, you can't really get much better than that. Number 7 on this list is a moving company. Now, summertime is a hot time for people to move because of the fact that a lot of families, a lot of people want to move before the school year starts, because if you have kids, there's nothing worse than uprooting your kid in the middle of the school year. Additionally, students are moving to college, they're moving away from college, they're moving apartments, they're moving dorms. There's a lot going on in the summertime with people's living situations, and because of that, a moving company is in demand. Pair that with the fact that summer times are hot and nobody wants to spend their day in the summer heat, especially not moving boxes, furniture, and miscellaneous housing goods. That's where you can come in. The average rate of a mover is anywhere between $25 and $50 per hour, and depending on how far you're having to move those items, it can even be more to offset the cost of actually transporting the goods to and from the different locations. I think this side hustle is particularly good if you're somebody that is physically fit, if you like to stay active, if you don't mind the heat, and if you're somebody that likes to lift heavy objects. Now, you could get started with this type of side hustle in a wide variety of different ways. You could start a Facebook listing, you could post on Craigslist, you could post on Nextdoor, you could go on Thumbtack. There are so many different ways to get your foot into the door of starting a moving company. Additionally, this is also one of those side hustles that could be scaled up, and you could start hiring employees to work for you, help you move, and thus make more money doing it. Number 6 is landscaping and yard care. Now, this is something that I think anybody that owns a home can relate to because of the fact that during the summertime, your yard and the maintenance associated with your yard can easily get out of hand. Grass grows very quickly, trees grow quickly, leaves grow quickly, bushes grow quickly, everything grows quickly. Not only that, but you also have to water your grass, you have to fertilize your grass, and you have to make sure that you water your grass at the right time, or else you risk killing your grass. I should know, I've done it. I've killed my grass unintentionally by not following any of this stuff. Good lawn care can be very, very expensive, and for some people, it makes more sense to simply hire somebody to do it rather than invest the time, energy, and money into doing it themselves. You can buy a lawnmower, buy this equipment, and then start mowing lawns for people as a business. Depending on the size of the lawn in which you mow, you could make anywhere between $50 and $100 per lawn, sometimes more than that, especially if there's some difficult aspects of the lawn like slopes, flower beds, landscaping, and more. That brings us to the next side hustle on the list, which is number 5, and that is pool care. Now, everybody likes the idea of a pool. I think the idea of sitting next to a pool, swimming, barbecuing, being outside, but not being too hot is something that we can all appreciate the idea of. But the problem is that similar to things like a boat, it's oftentimes forgotten how much upkeep these types of things are, and this certainly applies to a pool. Pools are great and a lot of people really enjoy them, but they are without a doubt a lot of work. And there are a lot of people out there that buy a pool without really anticipating all of the upkeep that this pool is going to require. Especially if you're somebody that lives in a cold climate, or if you're somebody that doesn't understand the transition that your pool has to make between spring and summer in order to make it enjoyable once again. Offering a full-fledged pool cleaning service that not only gets your pool ready for the summertime, but also upkeeps it throughout the summer is something that is definitely needed during the summer months. Going into your backyard, testing chemicals, adding new chemicals if needed, making sure all the equipment is working properly, cleaning filters. All of these services are things that you can provide as a pool cleaning expert. According to a few different sources that I found online, you can make anywhere between $40 and $60 per hour by simply offering pool cleaning services. And if you add equipment repairs and equipment maintenance on top of that, it isn't unheard of to make anywhere between $150 and $200 per hour. We are now in our top 4 side hustles that I want to talk about today, and I'm going to warn you, these are 4 side hustles that I think are really cool, and I think there's a lot of unique opportunity with all 4 of these. And that brings us to number 4, which is golf ball flipping. Now, you guys may have no idea what I'm talking about. If you golf, you probably do know what I'm talking about, but let me explain. Now, I am not a golf enthusiast, but I can appreciate the hustle associated with golf. And the fact is, whenever you golf, you oftentimes lose balls. There's a lot of balls that get misplaced throughout the entire golf course. And you may be asking yourself, what happens to those golf balls? Well, most of the time, nothing. Most of the time, they'll sit in bushes, they will sit in a field, they'll sit in a pond, and they will just be sitting there rotting away. That's where you can come in. You can go into a golf course. I would advise with permission of the golf course owner, but you can of course take liberty with that. You can go collect golf balls that have been stranded and left behind. You can clean those golf balls and then you can resell them to golfers at a discount. Now, interestingly enough, this is actually a full-fledged business model online. There are multi-six-figure businesses online that solely just sell reused golf balls. So where I think that this could come into play as a really valuable side hustle, especially if you're not really interested in turning it into a full-fledged business and competing with other companies, is going to golf courses, collecting golf balls, going home, cleaning the golf balls, and then going back to different golf courses and selling them directly to the golfers on the spot. Now, golf balls can be surprisingly expensive. Low-end golf balls can be about $15 to $20 for a pack of 12, which comes out between $1 and $1.50 per golf ball, whereas mid-tier golf balls can be about $50 for a pack of 12, which comes out to about $4 per golf ball. You can collect these golf balls, do research on what type of balls they are, clean them, and then bring them to the golf course and sell them to the golfers for 50% off. Number 3 on this list is mobile car washes. Now, the fact is, getting your car washed is a pain in the butt, and there are a lot of people out there that simply do not want to do it. It requires time, it requires energy, it's inconvenient, and then at the end of it all, you're tired, hot, and sweaty. So that's where you can come in. You can offer this type of service, and you can actually come to the people and do it for them at their house or at their work. You charge a premium price, that way it justifies your time of going out to the location, and then you spend the time washing the car and doing the heavy lifting for them. For a full detail car wash, it isn't abnormal to charge $150 for this type of service. And once you start incorporating the fact that you're a mobile car wash coming to them and you're offering a premium wash, you could definitely charge between $200 and $300 per car wash, sometimes more for higher end, larger vehicles. With this type of side hustle, you can buy all of the supplies that you need online and you can scale up as your business grows. For example, as you're starting out, you can just wash cars with a simple soap cannon and use a regular hose. As your business grows from there, you can get a pressure washer, and then from there, you can get a full-fledged washing kit with like a pressure tank and multiple different types of soaps. This is a side hustle that would do particularly well in high-end neighborhoods where cost isn't really an issue and people want their cars cleaned. But it would also do very well in an office setting and offering the ability for people to get their car washed while they're at work. Now, in order to get started with this type of side hustle, I think that you can contact offices directly and speak with the office manager about arranging this type of thing. You could also go door to door in neighborhoods and ask people if they'd be interested in having their car washed, or you could simply post ads and post listings on things like Facebook, Craigslist, or Nextdoor. Number 2 on this list is another one that is a tried and true method of making money, but it's one that has gained a lot of steam recently, specifically in the niche of furniture, and that is flipping items on Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, or eBay, with an emphasis on furniture because that's what's in recently. Recently, there has been a huge trend of flipping items and flipping furniture on social media. People will go onto Facebook Marketplace, buy a rundown chair, they replace the cushion and the upholstery, refinish the wood, and then flip it for 100% profit. Or there are times where people will take an IKEA cabinet or an IKEA dresser and then refinish the front of it to give it a more modern, more upscale look, and then they'll flip that for a profit as well. I think that for those of you that are artistic, that enjoy this type of thing, this is a huge opportunity because of the fact that people look for high-end furniture, but they may not want to pay a high-end price. And flipping furniture is a great way to do this. It gives people customized furniture without a customized price. And for those of you that are good at this type of thing, there's so much opportunity. And the last side hustle is one that I think is so easy to start. It has so much income potential, and it's one that literally has such a low barrier to entry that I had to make it number 1 for all of these reasons. And that is a power washing business. Now, you guys may be wondering what exactly this means and how can you make money from it, so let me explain. We all know what a power washer is. It's a hose that shoots out water at a very high pressure, very, very quickly, and we've all seen those videos on TikTok or YouTube of people power washing sidewalks, and it's super aesthetically pleasing. Well, this is actually a real need, and it's something that has turned into a real business. The business of power washing things like driveways, sidewalks, houses, roofs, and more. Power washers can be expensive, and power washing well can take a ton of time. And there are a lot of people out there that don't have the desire or the time or the energy to power wash their house on their own. And if somebody has gone their entire adult life without ever power washing the outside of their house or their driveway or their backyard, chances are they probably need to really, really bad. And that's where you can come in. You can buy a really solid power washer online for $200, and if you want one that's really good, you can probably find one for under $400. In fact, Home Depot, Lowe's, and Amazon all have highly rated power washers that have great reviews for under $5. And then, according to my research for this video, you can charge anywhere between 35 to 77 cents per square feet that you power wash. And the cost of the amount that you charge will depend on the type of service that you're power washing, because all services are not created equal. That means that if you were, for example, to power wash the exterior of the house and somebody wanted you to power wash their brick to clean it off, and that house was somewhere between 900 and 1,200 square feet, you could theoretically charge $270 to $480 for that job, sometimes more depending on the surface. As your business grows, you can start investing in higher end gear that will take you less time in order to wash. You can start hiring power washers to help you with the projects. That way you can knock out more houses in a single day. I really do believe that this type of side hustle has a lot of opportunity. Now, it is of course very labor intensive, and you do have to invest in the power washer in order to get started, but it is one of those things that once you buy the power washer, you don't really have to buy anything else. The rest of it is just investing your time. You could get started with this type of side hustle by simply buying a power washer and then going door to door and even showing the user, the client that you're pitching your services to, the before and after of what a brick looks like if you power wash it versus if you don't. I think that power washing services specifically are one of those things that if it's like out of sight, out of mind, you don't really understand and see the value that power washing can provide until you see what your house, sidewalk, or brick would look like if they were clean. I think more so than any of the other side hustles we've talked to today, this type of side hustle would really excel with like one-on-one sales, door-to-door style. Now, with that being said, you guys, I think that there is so much opportunity this summer to make money. I mean, it's not a matter of if you can make extra money this summer, it's simply a matter of which route are you going to go down. And all of the 10 ideas that I talked about in this video are very real and applicable ways to get started with a really lucrative side hustle. Like always, if you have any questions, comments, if you have anything to add, I would love to hear it, so make sure to leave a comment down below. And while you guys are at it, make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell. And I will see you guys in the next video.